That's good to know.
Yeah.
So instantaneous transformation is what you're talking about. It could be almost instantaneous as long as the person, is also open to receiving that.
No, it becomes a choice. It's beyond, again. So what's choice? I think he's willing to talk about choice, and he kicked me knowing that I can still position myself at a different twist because I'm spiritually completely open. It's a choice for him to give you what he wants. It used to call itself spontaneous, and he's laughing and lacking with me. He's lacking. Why? Many ego scientists happen to know their part, like Freud, please forgive me, he came at that level with the science point and he never made it. Because it's like, it doesn't exist for God to teach somebody. You can have your own experience, pass on and regret that you did that. You wasted your life and you wasted people's understanding of what it is about. My way of speaking with love is transcendent. He takes me in. He helps me up. I stand in front of him, almost breathless. But that's how it works.
Right. It's almost, you're talking about the willingness to want it, to make that choice that you want to have it.
Correct.
So this is why you have, spirit, or however you want to call it, angels working with you in order to, see something different than what is of the norm, so to speak, which is now becoming more popular with people, that it's now becoming more of an instant in people's consciousness, that they're seeing something bigger.
True, there's a limit. And I think I will be the first one explaining this part. I was so trusted and I was so willing, like you said, to know from the medical perspective what we can do for ourselves. And they gave me the time, they gave me all the ins and outs. And actually, Archangel Michael says, you're the first one. Okay. So the ego, and we describe both sides so willingly. Ego has desires. Archangel Michael will cater to my ego if he has to. And he's done it to prepare me to work with God and see all parts of me. Now, how he does it? We joke. He doesn't let me to disassemble myself because I'm part of the structure already. I've developed the skills that other people don't have. He can hit me hard with a good joke if he needs to.
It's great to know they have a sense of humor.
Oh my God.
And I've heard about this before.
Oh my God.
That
beyond anybody's belief. But the funny thing, I ask carefully, I accepted enough love to grow my spirit a little bit, and I desire to ask that question. And I asked God if he has a sense of humor. There was a period of silence. And I thought, okay, if he's going to kill me right now, so be it. He joked in return. That was my answer. I was astonished. I was stunned and I froze. But that was a loving Father who accepts us the way we are. Are you kidding with me? Of course I have a sense of humor.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So he has a sense of humor. He is true love. He's very accepting, but he knows his job as a father. He has to give you what you ask for before you came. And if you didn't listen, you still get what he thinks you need to get you back on your path. What is the path? To live and prosper. I want to say it many, many times for being too brave on the radio. To prosper. That is his loving opinion, and he insists on that.
Yes, we talk about frequencies. We talk about the frequency of love, the frequency of being prosperous or being abundant. Can you speak more about the frequency of this?
Well, he gives us, frequency is more him. He promised not to, he says, speak nano. Nano. I got his answer in a joking pathway. I was part him already. I filtered it right. He kind of provoked my braveness. Nano is the future of medicine. We can know and we can feel and we can not degenerate. Nano, I am probably 99.9% by now. What is quantum? He's pushing kind of towards, within my heart now. What are the means? In my division of thought, heart. Heart is the only place where I go for discussion. Now, if he manifested too much with me, and I do miracles, not on the radio, I'm not going to explain. He kicks me into that right hemisphere where I can resonate a little bit less with my heart. And he teaches me to change the sides because it's easier for me. Now, I work with matrix, I work with genome, and he said don't promote the other parts. So matrix and genome was a marvelous experience for me. For many people who I already worked with, it's been a scenario now. People are marching behind me, very stable, very cute, and very becoming on matrix and genome.
So for our listeners that don't know what matrix is, can you let us know a little bit more about it?
Okay, he said accommodate. So I'm asking him what his willingness. Okay, he said people have desire nowadays to know. Okay, so matrix is a support for our heart to be true to ourselves and become not what we wish, what we need to be. And Michael is stressing not what you wish, because this explanation came first from Michael. Michael got my level of experience with him, with higher intelligence, to the level where I could work with God and not to betray him in a way. Matrix is a heart support. It's stable, it's sturdy, it's loving. Now, before we went on the radio, you experienced genome.
Right. We had worked together before we got on the radio, and you had asked me to go within myself and just think about things where I could just relax and, and then blink. And then at that point, I felt a shift. I felt like something just became more natural, where I didn't feel like I was pushing anything. I just felt more at as being.
You were attracted, the word attracted. You were attracted by love. So what happened, I think mid-sentence, when you asked me what is genome, I felt emotion from my right eye, from my pupil, where I started seeing the code, and I felt that genome has come for you to say yes to. It took us half a second. Mm-hmm. Referee Archangel Michael is saying half a second to start flowing in the genome. Now, can you call it a miracle? I wish not. I think it's now and present. And it's always been with us. Nobody was we always never knew, Father says. It's been with us, I'm asking for the answer, a couple of generations. So on genome, we're already evolutionary, working and now speaking about that. Now, matrix, from the beginning of times.
When you mentioned genome, can you explain a little bit further about it? It's about a flow, a given particular way.
He will not allow. It needs to not become, it's his present. You cannot unwrap it. He wants us to be natural. Because part of my training with love was I don't ask. I'm delivered everything I have to know. To what degree? To help myself to go forward. Why so strict? It's not medicine where I explain this pill and how it works and this pill before breakfast and this. No. He truly wants us to enjoy life. He will provide. He's a father. He's a provider. It's on him. It's unheard of for higher intelligence to be questioning love. Please forgive me to explain it further for the rest of our audience, but I always feel like I don't want to hurt your feelings by saying those words, but at the same time, I'm not allowed to lie to a person. So he says, Father says, okay, hear me. And Father is kind of rescuing me at this point and says, I just want you to enjoy. Be surprised. Be loving, be experiencing, be expecting. That's evolution. Expect to be helped. Don't allow. It's a sudden shift like you experienced, because this is how it is.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. That, when we have expectation in a certain
It
degree,
won't come.
that we know that it's happening. So it's like a knowing. Is that what you're saying?
Expect means God within you, love to love connect, will teach you, something wonderful is gonna, something. You will know internally, you will know something, the essence of, but that's almost like beyond. But the essence of is your cumulative goodness, not just your mind asking questions, okay? So the cumulative goodness knows I need, but it's such a beautiful need. So it's almost like no need, but it is.
And so a question just came to mind. It's like, what is the essence then of love?
It's an internal gift that you give yourself. Now, we all come with goodness. We can lose it. We can drastically change ourselves. Things happen in life.
And this is being in a different, like in the matrix. You say going into the matrix. So how does that benefit us? What are the benefits of that?
Okay, there are types of matrices that I will not be talking about because it's too high and not maybe 2 years from now. Okay, he says, stay where you are and say where you are. God's matrix, where I work. So there are individual matrices. That's, he says, you know too much. And he's smiling. I am like 50 years ahead of myself right now. And he says, please don't say anymore. But where I stand, he allowed me to look forward into generations to come. He protected me with bringing knowledge, and I'm not going to say number of generations ahead. And then he asked me, what are you going to do? You were brave enough to go and get information from, okay, he says, now we can say 300 from now, 300 years from now. It was my information that I was supposed to come again. Shoot me as a messenger, but it is true. And I said, okay, I don't know, I brought it.
Yeah, we say don't shoot the messenger, right? You're just
Shoot
here
me.
to share information, and and it helps our listeners to have a better understanding of what matrix is and quantum. And we talked about the internal heat. And can you speak more about spiritual breath? Because as someone takes a deep breath, as someone's talking, it's as though they're having an understanding.
Yeah, our soul is very automated. It actually knows. Nobody's studying soul. Nobody in the medical profession knows enough, and God is not willing to explain. He says he's not going to. It's already too late. But I'm very experienced in that. The automation of us, of humankind, is evolution. It's the mind of the universe is evolution. So going forward, all of this is absolutely available. So quantum, what is quantum? Quantum is hard in my part, but not all hearts are present. So the soulfulness is me is very quantum. I've been through 13 quantum gates, and each gate was holding me enough to learn enough that I could handle.
So when you talk about a gate, what does that mean?
It's truly like a gate. There's one key, and you cannot turn it.
So it's going through the doorway, so to speak, another doorway. It's more of experiencing something different.
Acceptance.
Can you give an example about that?
He said he won't forgive me if I do.
Or just share what So our listeners have a better idea when you say you went through 13 gates.
I'm standing probably in the 15th gate right now. Okay, I know my position right now. As a choice, again, as a choice, I can go anywhere. As a choice for him to know and bring and be brighter, I can do whatever I wish. He gives. My experiences are very wide. But people's spirits are still in the wilderness, he says. And I ask him not to be too bright and not to be genius. My choice of a humble person was, I don't want to go too fast and be the bright spot. And I refuse to give to that part of me. As said, enough, he says, for this program. We increased awareness by even mentioning with pride what he wants us to mention. If he allows me on Soulful Talk, there will be some programs on that, maybe something written, maybe book. However, it's his design. I'm just part of it. But he is the creator. Health by Design is the program that we pretty much finished. It's going to appear on Soulful Talk very soon. He might mention a little bit more. He's asked a lot of me. And every day I bring so much that 10,000 people wouldn't bring. I'm already opened. I have very good working knowledge of everything. Now, I think I'm going to train people or teach people how to quickly remove paralysis from person. It was not an ambition. I always knew that there is more to what we know. I always felt in me, and for years, that this is not the end. This is how we shouldn't be going forward. He was cranking my spirit up, I think, even before he showed up. How it was sudden, but at the same time, it was sudden because I was already prepared, I think. And he said, okay, now I need you. Come on in, let's talk, let's study, let's work. But the first things that happened was etiquette. I had to know etiquette by heart. I would be allowed into paradise where God is to learn and even ask a question if I'm not proper. You don't command to God, you don't demand of him, you love him.